Welcome back to Phatkat Collections. Today I got another holster for you folks by Craft. Been working with Craft for a couple years now, and I'm always excited to get one of their holsters. They make awesome, high quality leather holsters, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. So normally, generally when I carry a piece, which is every day, I generally don't like holsters that tuck inside the waistband. There's a couple reasons for that, and if you are looking for a holster, these are some things to consider. Your body type, right? And so we're going to talk about that a little later into the video. So, but again, this is one of their holsters inside the waistband. What I like about this particular holster is you have the dual high quality buttons on this, or snaps. And this really provides a really nice way to secure this to the inside of your belt. Then what this basically does is tuck inside your waistline. You can tuck it on the front of the waistline or around the back, depending on what's more comfortable for you. And this again will loop just right around your belt. If you're a guy who does not wear a belt, this probably isn't the holster for you. I like the idea of these double snaps because it really, again, kind of secures this in the upright position. Not that they tend to tip too much, but it just gives it a nice solid way to mount this to your belt on the inside of the pants. Now, this is for the G2C. This is actually manufactured by Falco. So Craft and Falco are kind of in collaboration with one another. Some holsters come directly from Craft with the Craft branding on it. Other times they'll have both. This one specifically from Falco. When you go to their website, you will see that the snaps also state Falco. So when you do buy a holster through Craft branding, you're getting the same quality you get with Craft holsters, but Falco is the manufacturer. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm not sure if Craft actually has a manufacturing facility. They might manufacture specific models, and then to allow them to sell a whole bunch of different holsters by many different firearms, they collaborate with Falco. And so Falco basically did produce this holster, just sold under the Craft, I guess, website. So love the holster, very simple. Again, not too much. You know, you see one holster, you kind of see them all. There's nothing really over the top. What I do like on this is that this is done in the black, as you can see, but on the inside of the waistband, up high on this section of the holster, they actually have the grain. It's, I'm not sure if it's the opposite side of the leather. I think it is. So normally you have kind of like that, I'm not sure, and for you leather guys, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm doing my best to describe this. It doesn't have that kind of shiny, I'm not sure if that's tanned or what the proper terminology is, but basically it's what I would consider the inside of the leather. And I think that's the part that's actually, I'm not sure which one's on the inside or outside of the animal. But what I like that they have a little bit of a different kind of texture there and a different kind of contrast in both leathers. Not that you're going to see this. Most of the time this is going to be underneath the shirt. But what I like about it, it's a little more abrasive, and you have that kind of rubbing against your body. I think that kind of helps to also keep this kind of upright. I'm just going to go ahead and show you how the gun fits in here. I have a Taurus G2C right here. Again, I mean, just for purpose of the video, I know everybody double checks the firearm and does all that stuff. I did just do that, but you know, again, that should be something I shouldn't have to tell you folks to do. But the gun is completely empty, as you can see. No magazine. So just to show you how this, we put it in the right way, how this sits in here. These holsters are very tight when you get them. And so one thing I haven't done yet is you want to break this in. They do provide some break-in solution that you spray the holster, put your firearm in a bag or two, and shove it in there. And what the bag does, just gives a little extra thickness to your gun. You might want to double up, triple up, force it in there and let it sit, which I will do at a later date. Because right now, as you can see, when I try to pull this out, it's really tight. That will break in. And you do want to do this with a holster, no matter. Some of the Craft holsters I've gotten are like butter, right? But on something like this that's really tight, you are really going to want to break this in and really kind of, you know, soften that leather up and use it, pull it out, put it in, pull it out, pull it in. Because this thing, like some of the holsters I've reviewed before, once this is in, as you push it in, it actually pulls a slide back. And so you want to be a little careful in that in the beginning. And when this is actually in your waistline, I'm just going to go ahead and pop it on here. I like that you don't have to take your belt off. You can just slide this right underneath your belt without undoing your belt. Might be easier in some cases to do that. The reason I really like the snaps, and I have the snaps on, this one actually does different holster. So I have the snap model on a lot of the outside the waistband holsters just because it's easier for me to pop this gun off when I get home, or if it's in my way doing something, it's easy to snap it off without having to remove my whole belt. So again, this fits really nice in the waistline. We pop this on. And what I like about this too, it kind of rides a little bit high. So it's really easy to conceal. Again, the type of gun you go with is going to determine how concealable it is. But this is pretty concealable. You know, for me, I tend to not really wear a lot of inside the waistband holsters just because I do find them, and this one's not too bad, because it's high ride. When you sit down, a lot of times that can really kind of push into your junk, right? Especially with a larger frame firearm. And you know, if you get something like a you know, like a 1911 or a CZ75, a Beretta, you know, P92, whatever, you know, that might be a little more comfortable. But I find this holster, you know, none of them are going to be amazingly comfortable, right? Anything, if anything's tucked in your waistline, you're going to feel it. But it's definitely bearable, right? It's not something that's really bothering me. Now, the other thing about it is that you, depending on your body type, this is a factor as well. If you are a guy, like I am 182 pounds, I am not, I don't have a six-pack abs, you know what I mean? I do carry some fat around the midsection. And so, you know, not tons, but enough where when I sit, you know, it does tend to push into a firearm if I'm wearing one in the front like this. So again though, because this is a smaller frame pistol, it's higher ride on this particular holster. It's definitely wearable and definitely pretty comfortable and really pretty concealable. Now when you wear clothing that's a little bit more snug like I do, it becomes harder to kind of hide a firearm. Naturally, if I were to wear a shirt that's maybe like a large, this would give you some extra material, but I'm not going to do that, right? Yeah, we dress how we dress. So it is something that if I want something super concealed, and there are times when I do, generally this is not the gun I carry. I carry something that's really a small, like a Taurus Spectrum basically, a little tiny 380 that's really concealable. You can almost shove it in your pocket, it's so small. So there are times where I want something like that. But this gun, for the most of the time, if you don't want to wear it, and I generally wear on the hip out in the open, sometimes I will pop my shirt over it like so if I'm, you know, don't want to really make a big spectacle of it. You know, it is somewhat concealable, but anybody who, you know, I guess kind of is looking for that, you are going to see the firearm, right? And I generally don't try to hide it, but this is pretty decent. It, you know, the only thing about these is with any leather holster, that you are going to have to break it in. You can see when I go ahead and holster this one in the other craft outside the waistband, you know, it comes out really easily. And there's not, this one I didn't have to break it at all. However, with this holster, you know, when you pop that in there, if you wedge it in tight, and again, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to be here getting you ready for combat or anything like that, but in the case that you had to draw on this, it might be wise to hold the holster and pull like so. Now that will ease up as you break this in, which is why I definitely recommend, no matter what holster you go with, definitely break it in. Get a container of their break-in solution. Follow the instructions. You know, be prepared that you may have to use this someday. Hopefully, God forbid, never. But you do want this to be nice and smooth. Of course, Kydex holsters are, you know, they snap in place. They're definitely something you don't have to break in. And for speed, I think they're a lot better. But I'm more of a leather guy. And I just really, I don't know, I just like the way leather holds up, and I like the way leather feels. I feel like anything in the front with Kydex like this, it really digs into your groin area. It definitely digs into your stomach. And for me, this is definitely a very comfortable option for inside the waistband. You could also move this around the side if you wanted to, but then I find that anything I wear outside the waistband or inside the waistband around the hips, it's just super noticeable. You're not hiding anything. Unless, of course, you are wearing something like a button-up shirt, like a flannel, a jacket. Absolutely, you can hide it. But again, I don't really make it an issue to hide this. You know, we are protected under the Second Amendment. Depending on which state you live in, you can open carry. I do have all the proper licensing to carry however I feel like carrying. But this is a good option, you know, and I think that a lot of times, and let me just show you, this is what I like about it. You can just pop it off if you know, are sitting at your desk doing some work and you want to take it off. You can. Again, that's kind of personal preference. But love the quality of the holsters. They're great. I've been wanting an inside the waistband holster for quite some time. I do have Craft's the Taurus Spectrum inside the waistband holster, which is similar to this. And of course, I have it for, what else? I have it in another, another gun as well. But I find that, you know, again, the larger frame pistols, like one of my old buddies, he would carry inside the waistband with a very basic, kind of like almost friction holster, a 1911, but he wore his pants a lot larger than really his size, and he always wore suspenders, and so you could have a lot of extra material there and wear that with comfort. Whereas me, you know, based on my attire, it's more difficult to conceal a weapon, and so generally I don't try to. Right? There's always going to be these places that don't want you to carry a weapon. I think Costco is one of them. By all means, I do believe in respecting people's homes and businesses, and so, you know, as you know, it's their home, it's their business. If they don't want you to carry a gun there, you can either, you know, do your own thing. If you know, they don't publicly post it, of course, not that I've seen. So if you are going to, you know, wear a firearm in somewhere where you know that they would prefer you not, or they have a policy that you don't, you're going to have to conceal it. And something like this, you can definitely conceal. It's not a huge gun. So again, you know I don't want to make these videos about you know, getting too political or getting political at all, or having any kind of debates. You know, I'm a gun owner. Obviously, I'm a frequent carrier. Everywhere I have a gun. It's 99% places, not everywhere. Some places I don't, but generally I carry everywhere, even if that's sitting on the couch at home. And so. But I also, you know, I do understand that I'm not going to be one of those guys who's like, oh, Costco, you don't want me to carry a gun. How dare you violate my second, you know, it's their business. They have the right to tell you not to carry a gun there, and you have the right to shop there or not. And that's, you know, I think we should all just respect one another's, you know, boundaries, right? But again, that's, you know, you do you, I'll do me. I am a pretty respectful person for the most part, and so, unless you give me a reason not to be. But yeah, overall though, great holster. As far as the presentation, this time they did not send it with this kind of like shredded paper, which I found really annoying in the past. It was kind of a presentation to protect it, but this doesn't really need protection. They give you just a nice kind of bag, the label on it, you know, a breaking in procedure manual, pretty straightforward, and of course just a basic cardboard box. I'm glad they did away with all those, you know, that packing, unless they just did away with it for my shipment, not sure. But again, not even really a gripe. It just kind of makes a mess when you're opening it up. But you know, own custom box. That's about it, really. Now, there's a lot of different options with Craft, and I have many different holsters. The collaboration between me and them has been awesome. It really allows me to try out holsters. Not everybody can do that, you know. Some folks are, you know, when you're spending, this is $100, $109. So when you're spending $100 for a holster, you know, not everybody's going to want to, you know, go buy 10 holsters, right? It adds up. So you kind of want to be selective about what you decide to go with, and kind of think about it. It's always sometimes good to buy. You know, go to a store. Some of the, you know, the Amazon holsters, the really cheap Kydex ones you get for like 15 bucks. Sometimes it might behoove you to go ahead and buy a couple of those. If you don't like them, you can easily return them. Whereas this, you can probably return it, but it's going to be more of an issue doing that. And you don't want to use Craft as a company for you to figure out which holster you want. Use something like Amazon where they have a return policy. It's going to be easy for you. Get some cheap Kydex holsters. Try them on your hip. Try inside the waistband. And then return the ones that you don't like. Again, for me, there are those occasions where I will wear inside the waistband, but generally it's on my hip, and that's the most comfortable spot. No matter which gun I have, I find it comfortable. I find it honestly easier if I do want to conceal it, just pop my shirt over it. Again, it depends on the places you're going to, but if you haven't checked out Craft, definitely check them out. They don't really write too much up about this, so I'm going to read you what it says here. It says, should I buy an inside the waistband concealed holster? So if you like to carry IWB or appendix style, and you don't want to constantly have to remove your belt when dismounting your rig, then this might be the holster for you. And that's what I mentioned earlier. This is what I like about the double snaps or the double belt loops, is that even if you go with the model that's outside the waistband, you know, this is very easy to remove. And I like not having to remove my whole belt to get the thing off. You know, there are times where I carry two guns, right? And so that's kind of a pain in the ass, right? So I like these. I wish they made an outside the waistband for the Taurus G2C. They don't, surprisingly. So I do have to, on this particular one, I just kind of leave it on the jeans I'm wearing most of the time. So it is available in brown or black. And if this isn't the holster for you, they have a whole slew. And the nice thing about these holsters, They're high quality. If you compare these to some of your Amazon specials in that $40 to $60 price range, these are much thicker leather. They're really nice, super thick, almost what I would consider like duty style, right? They're really going to last a very long time. I've been wearing Craft for the last 4 years consistently. I really don't wear any other brand. Again, yes, because I collaborate with them, but I have bought holsters here and there, and just the quality of Craft, they just really are well done, and they're, you're spending $100 for a holster, you want it to last and not break down and fall apart. So definitely give them a go. My only gripe with Craft is that they don't make more exotics. I think they started doing away with their custom shop, and they used to have, and don't quote me on this, but they had like gold holsters and like, really kind of, they have Alligator series, Stingray, and I have tried to get my hands on these, but they are more expensive, so they don't really want to send those out to little old me. But nevertheless, I would encourage you to check them out and check out the brand, just for whatever holster you may go with. Check them out. Let me know what you think. As always, the link's in the description. I'll throw a coupon code in there as well. You can take advantage of that, save yourself a little bit of money. If you guys do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Reach out. I'll do my best to help you. If I don't have the answer, I'll try to get you the answer. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and take care.